Good day, and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. It's the end of the month, and you know what? I really got to do something about how I manage these to-be-read piles because it's just not working out for me the way I always plan it. That's coming right up here on Drew's Book Reviews. Alright, so let's talk about how the month went here in the month of May for my reading. Now, it seems this year I am really struggling to get through all the books that I want to get through. I am so far behind on my to-be-read that I really think I need to change that up a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm going to manage that and change that up going forward. But before we get into that, of course, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe if you like this content, because I know I certainly like it, and I hope that you do too. Anyway, let's get into the video. So first off, before we get into talking about what I actually completed reading this month, let's talk a little bit about how I've done my TBRs, what I'm going to change for it. So previously, I'd focused a lot on doing my to-be-read pile, as these are the books I'm going to read in this given month, each and every month. And it has worked in the past, but it doesn't seem to be working so well this year for me, as I seem to be getting quite far behind. Now, there are good reasons for that as far as that goes, but even with the whole situation with my recent move impacting my reading schedule and all that kind of stuff, I still seem to be struggling just a little bit to get through the same amount of books as I typically read in a given month. So these TBRs that I've set up, I'm not getting through the full list of books that I want to get through in any given month. So I'm definitely going to change that. I didn't actually get to reading as much this month as I previously or would normally have read in a month, but that is okay too. And with that in mind as well, I'm also changing up a little bit about how I manage my approach to doing the BookTube channel, this BookTube thing. So before, I had always tried to get a video out at least once a week every single Friday. Well, that's just not going to be the case anymore. I've talked a little bit about it on Discord. I picked up a second job on the side from my work from home job. So once or twice a week, I'm getting out and working at a second job, which became really important for me and my own well-being, my own mental health. Just to get out and do something on the side has become really important for my own personal mental health and well-being. And so I am doing that on the side now, and so far I'm enjoying it, but that also means that I don't have as much time to commit to the BookTube thing as I used to. So instead of having a set schedule for books and videos that I'm putting out, I'm going to take a much more casual approach and just kind of put videos out as they come, as an idea comes, and as I make them. And when I have time to make them and put them together and edit them and that kind of thing. I still want to at least get a monthly wrap-up video out at the end of each month, so I'm still committed to that at least. But in terms of other video content, I'm going to just kind of take a more casual approach. I'm not going to have a set schedule, which means I have no idea how many videos each and every month I'm going to get out. So I just want to give you a heads up about that, let you know how I'm kind of changing my approach before we get into what I actually read this month. And then in terms of how I'm going to change how I approach my to-be-read pile, instead of having a monthly to-be-read set of books, I'm still going to do a to-be-read, but I'm kind of changing up how I do those videos, and it's going to be more of the next 5 reads video. So as I get through those 5 books, then I'll make another video about what are my next 5 reads, and you'll be able to continue to vote on that. It's been a while since we've had a viewer's choice vote. That's okay, but we're going to get back to it. I promise you that. Still trying to get caught up from March and what I had there, to be honest. So we're going to get back to the viewer's choice book review, of course, but that'll kind of be rolled into the next 5 reads type video that I'm going to be doing. So it won't necessarily be monthly, it's just whenever I finish 5 reads. Anyway, let's get into what did I actually finish and read this month. So according to my Goodreads tracking, I finished reading 2 books this month. That's it. Completed in full 2 books this month, which honestly came as a bit of a shock to me because I usually read so much more in a month, quite a bit more. But anyway, I finished Forward the Foundation, so I finally finished the full Foundation series. I actually put a review video up on that. I'll try to link it in the cards above or check the description below. But anyway, I finished Forward the Foundation by Isaac Asimov. So that's one of the books that I finished this month, here in the month of May. I love the Foundation series. It's epic, grand scope, future, tens of thousands of years in the future, galactic empire, and the idea that empires collapse and fall, and that the history of human behavior can be predicted with mathematical accuracy. It's just a really fascinating idea behind this book and this series as a whole, and I really love the classic science fiction. Granted, dated in some ways, but I explain a little bit more in my video review of that, so go check that out if you haven't already. But the Foundation series I finished up in the month of May, which is pretty awesome. The other book that I finished in its entirety in the month of May was Robin Hobb's Royal Assassin. So this is the second book in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. So this book, despite the title Royal Assassin, I found that it didn't really focus a whole lot on the idea of assassin, but rather the character who is the royal assassin fits in his relationships with other characters within this book and his own personal struggles, his trials. It was very much a character-driven story where plot kind of seemed to be more of a side issue. Now, if you prefer plot-driven reads, maybe you won't like this. If you like character-driven reads, you'll probably really like it. I'm kind of a mix of the both in a lot of times. There could be characters I just don't care for, but if the plot is awesome, I'm totally into that book. But at the same note, there could hardly be any plot movement at all, but if the characters are just so fascinating and interesting to read about, I'm going to love it. So I could actually go either way just depending on how it's written, and I found that this, with the character-driven one, done pretty well. I really enjoyed reading about Fitz and his relationships, and I look forward to continue on in the Farseer trilogy. I do have the last one yet to read. That is going to be coming up on future reads, of course, and more in the realm of the Elderling's world and universe in general. So with that, there are two books that I'm actually currently still reading at the end of May here, and one of them is going to be Terry Goodkind's Faith of the Fallen. So this is the next book in the whole Sword of Truth saga. Again, once I've completed my reread, I'm probably going to do a full series review on the Sword of Truth, my experiences rereading it, because my view, my opinion, my ideas, I'm much more well-read since I first read this. And I can really see now why some people just don't like this series. It's one of those things that either you love or you hate. It doesn't really seem, in my experience from conversations I've had online, there doesn't really seem to be much in between with this series. It's either love or hate it. And I can kind of see why some people don't like it now. It's not to say I don't like it, I'm still enjoying it, but I can understand why some simply don't like it. So stay tuned whenever I actually get around to finishing this reread of the series for my full thoughts on the Sword of Truth. And then the other book that I'm still working on at the end of this month is Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. This is one of those 700 plus page books. So far I am really enjoying it. This is clearly inspired by Dune and other science fiction. There's definitely some aspects in here that remind me of Dune and some of the technology and whatnot that we see in Dune kind of shine through in here. So definitely it seems to be inspired by that. And so far I am really enjoying Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. I'm enjoying this idea of the far future human civilization and interactions with aliens and the greater story behind this. What I do find is it's not so much a story about the Galactic Empire as about Hadrian, who's our main character, and the political and social and economic situations he finds himself in. What I'm enjoying so far is you know the end from the start, so the story isn't about the ending and what happens. It's about knowing what happened and how did we get there in Hadrian's story, and I'm really enjoying that so far. I think I might do a full dedicated review on this, so stay tuned for that. So that brings us to what are two books that were on my TBR for this month, but I just didn't get to, which I hope to get to pretty soon. In fact, once I am done reading Empire of Silence, I'm going to be picking up the book that was actually voted on to be the viewer's choice review from back in March. I know, it's super late, but I promise you, I'm getting to it, I swear. And that is going to be John Gwynn's Malice. Finally, book one of The Faithful and the Fallen. I have been waiting so long to get to this, I really have. And it's about time I get to this book. I'm really looking forward to it. As soon as I'm finished Empire of Silence, I'm getting right on Malice by John Gwynn, and I cannot wait to get into this book and read it. I've heard so many good things about this book. And everything I've heard, everything that people on BookTube have talked about this series makes me think that I am absolutely going to love it. So Malice is coming up next on that. And I will absolutely be doing the review on this because it is a viewer's choice pick from back in March, and I'm sorry about the delay. I know that normally I got those out once a month, and I really have not been very good at that lately. But it is coming, I promise you, so stay tuned for that. I promise you it is coming. And then the next book that was on my May TBR that I just didn't get to, it was Cursor's Fury, Book 3 of the Codex Aware by Jim Butcher. So this is the next one I'm going to read right after Malice. So far, I'm liking the Elemental Magic. The series is okay. I'm not enjoying it as much as Jim Butcher's Dresden Files, but I am still overall enjoying this book series. It still is decent, good, and enjoyable overall. And then once I'm done these 2 books here, I am definitely going to be getting on, and I'm going to be making a video about the next 5 reads, which you, my viewers, will get to vote on which one of those next 5 reads you would like to see a review on. But I will have to wait until I'm done these 2 books before I put that video out, so I can reassess my TBR and figure out which next 5 reads I'm going to do from that list. So stay tuned for that. It is going to be coming up. That is how my month went here in the month of May. So let me know down below in the comments. Have you read any of these books? Are you looking forward to reading some of these books if you haven't already? How did your reading month go? I'd love to hear from you down in my Discord, which will be linked below. Comment in the comments down below, of course, as well. Join me over on Hardcover. I've got the link for that below as well. Social network for book nerds. Better than Goodreads. And anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and until next time, keep on reading. Bye!